Welcome to Flight Paths, a podcast about global experiences connected to UW Whitewater. Today's conversation isn't about an agreement, it's about what global partnerships mean for people. And so today I'm joined by Dr. Thananporn Sethjinda, who also goes by Nan, who's the director of the Office of International Affairs at Assumption University in Bangkok, Thailand. Nan is a faculty member in business, and she brings both an academic and strategic perspective to international collaboration. So Nan, could you start by telling us a little bit about your role at Assumption University and how you found your way into international education?
Okay, สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ everybody. Hello, Andy. It's nice to see you and thanks for having me at this podcast. So my role at Assumption University currently is to look at the inter-institutional level collaboration, and in terms of more specific tasks, I'm taking care of outbound students or AU students interested in going abroad, as well as the inbound exchange students or students from our partner university coming to spend a semester at AU.
That's great. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more about what drew you to international work and maybe into that role? Why this role instead of just moving as a business faculty member?
I was, at the time that I'm coming into this role, I am pretty much interested in the part in taking care of the students. I'm a mother myself, and I feel that, during the time that kids or teens, they spend their times abroad, it would be great for them to have supportive hands, people they can reach out to during the time that they may need some guidance, and for them to navigate the foreign countries. So that was draw me into international education. But when I'm in this role, what I discover is a lot more. Working with various partners around the world, it helps me to really broaden my perspective of, like, initially when I was in my faculty roles, I was thinking, okay, just teaching and doing things on my own. But then when I get a chance to work with various universities around the world, I see that, wow, there are just so many things that I haven't done, I haven't known before. And it seems like in each country, in each models, there are differences that we can take in, that I can take in and adapt to my own classes and adapt to the way that I would like to take care of both outbound students and inbound students.
Well, that's great. I'm just a little bit curious then, in your role in this position and kind of working with different students from different countries, is there a moment or maybe an experience when you realize that that you realize that you were making a difference for some of these students, or can you relate about any specific examples about what felt rewarding for you in this position?
Okay, there are many circumstances. With the new generations, the very first thing I do in my role is to do reflection videos or to do some kind of reels, to do some kind of moments that capture their exchange experience in the country. And often when students share their perspective of enjoying life in Bangkok and helping them realize that they can do much more, they realize a different perspective in studying. That's where I feel like, okay, wow, this make my days. I feel great about all those experiences that help the students to feel that, oh, the world is much more. They realize that they can do more. I'll give you a very specific example. I have welcome Australian students to for an exchange semester in biotechnology at Assumption. During the first time that she came, she was so energetic and she engaged herself with the AU faculty members. She is a family. Whenever we go to the community service activity, she will go and she will just be like one of our students. Upon her completion of the exchange, she also have an opportunity to work for an internship position in one of the nonprofit organizations in Bangkok. And every time I see experiences like that for students from our partner or our own students, when they have this kind of experience and they can do much more than they initially thought, that's really rewarding.
I imagine having those experiences just really does make it enjoyable to do this type of work.
Yes. And I think from my part, the most important thing about my work is that sometimes people doesn't really know. Sometimes people doesn't really know that, hey, study abroad experience can be this is a journey. And, thinking about a students from Thailand going abroad, they may not be able to imagine what life is like on the other side, and vice versa. When a student is coming from the US or from Europe coming to Asia or Thailand for the first time, they might not really know what is, the nitty-gritty, the living conditions, what are the academic staff, or what are even the visa processing that they need to be mindful of.
Now, this visit that you are coming here today coincides with renewing our long-standing relationship. So why is it important to renew this relationship now, and why is this relationship relevant?
Yes, and first of all, I have to really thanks to you for bringing us this wonderful opportunity. We have such a long-term relationship, and we have benefited greatly from visiting lecturerships and the innovative strategies, innovative class that you have brought to AU. Now, I think with our existing partnerships, what I always believe in my role is that I want to focus on the partners whom we have already got a relationship, and we wanted to do more. We wanted to move the relationship beyond faculty exchange into the student mobilities, which I believe is something that will be beneficial for the students who have the chance to go through and live in the other country both the university from Whitewater to visit Assumption, and from AU student to come here and experience the academic excellence. And why now? I believe that the world has shifted in a very dynamic way. And I believe that when you have the opportunity to exchange your world temporarily, you have the opportunity to broaden your perspective. You have the opportunity to see, wow, what can you do more in the foreign countries, and what can you bring from the foreign countries in the different contexts back home? I believe that is why, for me, I really appreciate having the opportunity to deepen our relationship today and now, and that's going to go towards our student mobility.
That sounds great. Now, you're here as part of the delegation that's here to re-sign our MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding. For those that are watching this that are unfamiliar with what an MOU is, could you maybe describe what this MOU means in plain language?
Okay, so basically, for us to get into a long-term sustainable relationship, one part of that is for us to get into a documentation that describe how we are going to work together. So I believe that we will be working on two sets of agreement. The first set of agreement is to describe in general what are the areas we are interested in working together: faculty exchange, research collaboration, exchanging of students through a semester abroad, or even something broader that we can talk about in the future. So that is the one set of agreement. The other set of agreement that we are interested and we will be looking into signing and executing this time is the student exchange agreement, the agreement that set aside the terms and conditions for both of the students from both sides to be able to participate in the academic semester, academic setting in each other's institution for a semester or a year. So those are the two documentation we'll be looking into.
Maybe building on that point right here, because we may have many learners or students that are watching this, what would that mean to them? I guess either from students from Whitewater considering Assumption University or vice versa.
Okay, that would mean that the learner from Whitewater can opt to spend a semester in Assumption University, tuition waived, and they will be embraced, and they will be able to select few subjects, up to 4 or 5 subjects that they can participate and learn at Assumption, and at the same time, they can have those subjects transfer back as credit for the Whitewater and vice versa. So this would mean that the students, if let's say they want to exchange their world temporarily, they can consult with their advisor, their instructors, and give a list of the subjects that are available at AU. They can take those subjects during maybe 3-4 months in AU and then experience other aspects of life, traveling, exploring Asia, and then bring back those experiences along with credit transfer into their transcript.
That's great. And maybe something that I actually bring a little bit of a unique experience to this is what would be the benefit for faculty learners, I guess, and faculty in this type of relationship?
Right. For the faculties, I would say that they will be able to look into these collaborations into perspective. One, expanding their research horizons. I think one of the most important development these days is research, and most important is cross-cultural understanding, cross-comparisons. So by working with us through this collaboration, faculty members can get to know faculty members on the other side of the world. And if they are interested, they can have access to do joint research with our academic professors in AU, and we can support in terms of data collections. We can talk about how we can collaborate on research. That is on the one side. And if they are interested in coming for the visiting professorship, of course, we welcome them.
Mm-hmm. And that's maybe where I bring a little bit of a unique experience to this, because
Yes.
for those watching, I had met Nan just this past summer through that very opportunity, through this relationship that we had, that existing relationship where I spent a month
Yes.
getting to know her over in Thailand, in Bangkok, and some of the other faculty members. And something that I really appreciated about that experience is it wasn't just waking up and going to teach class and just leaving at the end of the day. It was a full experience because you're engaging with international students there and other international faculty members. So the time that I spent there, what I really appreciate about that time and the relationship that you had helped facilitate for me was being part of your community once I arrived. And so there were many different types of events that were held. There were signings over there of MOUs with not just different universities, but international organizations as well. So it really felt, I guess, special. And there was a bit that I learned about that experience, about those partnerships and the relationships, and being able to network with not just the faculty, but international business people as well. That, I think, was something that I didn't expect to go in there to be able to leave with. And I think there's many things that I was able to bring besides research possibilities, which you mentioned, but it was many things that I was able to bring right back to the classroom right away and be able to talk about what's happening on the ground in Southeast Asia, and in particular Thailand. And I don't know if you want to comment more about that, or maybe even why Thailand is so special for this compared to the United States.
I think before I goes into that, I like to sort of mention one more thing. For the faculty members, I believe that you might experience the differences working with the Asian students. Many of them may not be very argumentative. They may not wish to talk a lot about, especially when they have opposing ideas. So I think for the faculty members, that's the things about being in Asia, you will get to see that in fact, the communication dynamic sometimes is very subtle. Sometimes it's not upfront. Sometimes it's not like very straightforward as we might expect in the Western culture. And talking about Thailand and why Thailand at this particular moment, I believe that Thailand, on the one side, we are a hospitable country. We are one of the top tourist destinations. But I like to sort of put that aside for now. What I see happening in Thailand at the moment is that we have seen various businesses, communities thriving. International companies in terms of their relocations. We have seen a lot of interesting development and collaboration, both from the U.S. side. We have Garmin establishing factory in Thailand. We have the Thai company that are transforming and trying to adapt themselves to meet with the digital transformation. And that's bring in the need for smaller company or tech company that have the solutions, either it be cloud-based accounting platform or some of the cloud-based technologies that help SME to transform. So it's an exciting space to be in at the moment. And not just that, I believe that with U.S. company having expertise and prominence in several areas. We have businesses that thrive in a different way. TerraCycle, a U.S. company operated on a global scale. In fact, they operate in Thailand as a non-profit organization, helping the country to tackle the waste and circular economy. And that's the wonderful things about Thailand. We are sort of welcoming, and we sort of, in a harmonious way, we try to bring in the balance of us learning from our expert counterparts, and at the same time have the space for everyone to flourish in their own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's great to bring in the example of TerraCycle, but I think also in terms of, like I said, some of the concrete examples, the things that were really, noteworthy for me that resonated well with my students here is obviously the international dynamics change all the time, and the way that business is done changes constantly, and you have to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt. So currently in the United States, there's a lot of investment that's happening to move away from China to maybe moving back, reshoring back to the United States, or other alternatives, or trying to look for different ways to adapt their supply chain. And the time that I was there, I was able to interact and connect with different multinational companies that were setting up their operations, their manufacturing operations in Bangkok. And maybe you can speak a little bit more about why you have these large multinational companies that are locating specifically for supply chain in Bangkok.
I think for Bangkok is has a good infrastructure. Bangkok has a talent, and Bangkok offered company choices. So they can live in a very high-end, super downtown, very modern districts whereby the infrastructures, co-working space, and everything is there. We have small expatriate communities relocating to Bangkok because of that charm. And at the same time, I believe that Bangkok also is very convenient to travel to other parts of the country. EEC, which is the Eastern Economic Corridors, the big investment infrastructure project that the government is pushing towards. We have wonderful investment from our industrial estate developer, whereby they are going to bring in more smart city kind of concept, whereby everything will be automated, sustainable, with renewable energy. So those are really a lot of things that is going on in Thailand. So Bangkok is more or less like a gateway. It offers people choices for super high-tech or super day-to-day normal lifestyle, more I would say more friendly for the cost of living. So I think people have that choices, and that's why I believe Bangkok is positioned from that perspective as a draw for the multinational companies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think there's many people that I speak to and many students that I speak to at the time in classes that they don't realize the strategic location of Thailand. I mean, it's obviously has its own culture, but it's absolutely something that is someone can feel that is from the United States feel very comfortable working in that area. The country is known as the land of smiles. It's very accommodating. But Thailand itself is located in the middle of like half the world's population between China and India. And I think that strategically has very significance in terms of business, in terms of the opportunities and the types of innovation that happens that you're talking about, smart cities, and that I think I'm always looking to what is in the future. And having spent some time, short amount of time in Thailand, it was really eye-opening to see those types of innovations that are happening right just everywhere. And I think that is something that the students really appreciated, to be able to hear those type of direct experiences.
And I think one more thing is that we are adapting. We are in the process of transformation. So it's not like we have already reached that mature point. So within the transformation process, there will be opportunity. There will be opportunities for innovation, creativities, and for small guys, small people, or companies to contribute to that change.
Mm-hmm. Maybe changing this, maybe building on that a little bit more is why does international collaborations like this and hearing about these examples, hearing about these experiences, and learning of it directly hands-on, I think that's something that our learners here at UW-Whitewater really appreciate. And having spent some time with students over in Thailand too, that's something that absolutely resonates with them too. So bringing on hands-on experiences, that's something that what students appreciate. But could you tell me a little bit more, or maybe explain why those types of experiences why are they so relevant to students today?
Right. From me, working with international collaboration, either it be the higher education institutions or industrial partners, is relevant today because we would be tailoring the experience that prepare the learner for the world out there. So from the higher education perspectives, I believe that when we work together, we'll be able to leverage on what are some of the great things, best practices that each of the institution has already been doing from their own collaboration, from the niche that they have. When we work with the industrial partner, we'll be able to see how quickly the industry dynamic or the business dynamic is shifting. And from our end, we need to bring that back in terms of upgrading our curriculum, in terms of making sure that what we have asked the learner to do in class or the activity that we bring in the end, prepare them to be ready to cope with the ever constant change that is happening. So I would like to give you a few specific examples of what I did during the previous term. I brought students for company visits to cosmetic company, and they eventually use a lot of technology-driven innovation. When we think about cosmetic, we often think about, making or production. Thailand is one of the major hub for the original equipment manufacturer for cosmetic industry, and it sort of didn't occur to me how tech-driven the production of cosmetic can be. And there is also the element about sustainability in terms of end of life of the product shelf. So that's on the one side. And I think those kind of experience really brings in for us not to just think about the, marketing or retail, but to think about the process of creating the business model on an end-to-end basis, from cutting-edge research and how do we manage with the end-of-life circular economy. So this is really eye-opening, and it sort of bring back from my end, on how we can sort of create an experience that integrate everything together to reflect the experience of the industry visit that we had. And recently, on the 17th of January, I'm very happy to share that we have an opening ceremony of the new Gabriel Mary New Energy New EV Center. So basically, this is our collaboration with the MG and SAIC Group, one of China's leading EV manufacturer. And our intention is to have this research center as a skill training, not just for AU students, but for the people in Thailand as well as people from our partners to upgrade their skill to be able to cope with the shift in the automotive industry. And I think one of the partnerships like this, it helped us to also provide the bachelor degree in new energy vehicles in our Faculty of Engineering. It's make the learning meaningful, and it gives the student the necessary transformation of skills to be ready for the next phase. So for me, collaboration is a must. Collaboration is our avenue for the next big thing, the new beginning.
I really appreciate those specific examples because it really does bring it home, I guess, how these experiences really add value, because whether it's in cosmetics or whether it's in manufacturing or automotive, I think those type of experiences and the types of innovations that are happening there, which likely are some of the best innovations in the world right now, no matter what industry, whatever profession that you go into, I think those are type of experiences that really can resonate well with students. And I think those are skills that you're learning, practical experiences that you can probably apply right away on the job, no matter which field that you're in, but deeper lessons too in terms of innovation or entrepreneurship. I think that's really good. And so I really appreciate you sharing those examples. That's really good to hear. Maybe as we're starting to wrap this up, maybe looking back, what do you wish you would have known when you first started international education?
I should have gotten myself in a little faster than this. I really enjoy the differences, the diversity. I really enjoy seeing a lot of things, a lot of best practices, innovation driven, a lot of one of the partners that I'm working with, they have wonderful models whereby they send their students outside to 5 different countries, and they call that program for growth in business. Doing business is high growth economy, and they send student out 5 countries at the same time. At the end of that program, the student do reflection together, and they do experience sharing of what are the differences that they see from these 5 different countries. That's one example. And I see our partner university disrupting themselves, not waiting to be disrupted. They are constantly thinking about what are the future, what is the future models, and what they can bring that back to what they are doing right now, offering various kind of specialized curriculum that I don't even imagine that is there. So I wish that I can be in this role much sooner than this. But it's the best opportunity that I have, and I am looking forward to learning more and doing more.
Thank you for sharing that, and it's great to hear because it sounds like you are perfect for this type of leadership role on your campus, and certainly for collaborating with us. Maybe a follow-up to that then is maybe what advice would you give for a student, I guess, that would be maybe considering international business or maybe doing something with international?
I wouldn't give them advice, but I would borrow the words from my students. Every time when we have that experience sharing videos, and I will ask the student exactly the same thing that you asked me, what would be the tips and advice? And my student would say, go for it. Give it a thought, and, this is a chance, maybe a chance for a lifetime that they may have to spend times abroad. Think about it, plan for it, and grab the opportunity if you have one.
Well, at the end of each episode, I ask guests to reflect on a question left by the previous person that we spoke with. And since this is our very first episode, you can see that I have no question right here. So in the spirit of this podcast, I'll kind of lead off with the first question. So how do you know when an international partnership has moved beyond an agreement and is actually making a difference?
That is when I have a chance to work with people like you, and we have the same visions, we have the same intentions, and we sort of set our milestone, and we gradually see things happening. For example, we may have and in terms of making international collaboration works, it needs a bit of patience, waiting, but as long as we keep that relationship warm and we keep in touch with each other, things will happen in one day or the other. And when do I know it works? When I know that there is the great person on the other side working with me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I look forward to continuing to working with you and Assumption University going forward. And so I want to thank you for your time here and being the very first guest of Flight Pass, and acknowledge that your visit on behalf of Assumption University to renew our relationship. And in the future, if you want to, for everybody that's watching here, if you want to see what Nan's question is for our next guest, I encourage you to watch our next episode. So thank you very much for your time and for your visit here to Wisconsin.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. ขอบคุณค่ะ